Okay, I don't know if you've heard this yet or not, but Shaq Fu is getting a sequel called Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. So far, we've only seen trailers and screenshots for it, and while it appears to have been made on the Street Fighter 4 engine, the game does have unique art assets in it, so that's a good sign. But here's the odd thing about the whole project. It's being crowdfunded by Shaq for $450,000. While no one exactly knows why he's crowdfunding it, there's still the question of if it's worth your money. Since I can't use my powers of divination to tell you how it ends, radioactive moon pumpkins, let's instead look at the three broad categories of crowdfunded games to see how it could go. To start off with, let's go the route I'd like to call the in-the-hat route. This route is for those games that get successfully funded, the developer put a lot of work into it, and everyone knows that will be great. Some examples of these are Mighty No. 9, Wastelands 2, the Homestuck game, and, yes, the partial namesake, A Hat in Time. These games are clearly going to put your money to the best efforts, and everyone is being rewarded in turn. This is the way most people hope their crowdfunded games will go. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and the games can just as easily go down Death's route. These games are the ones which look like they'll be great. The developers put a lot of work into it already, and everything is set to go. Somehow it doesn't come together, and the game fails to receive funding. The namesake of this route is Death Incorporated. A very fun-looking strategy game about the Grim Reaper trying to save the world from immortality and looking for Group: The Fork of Truth, a hack-and-slash game based off of the webcomic Looking for Group, and Shadow of the Eternals, the spiritual sequel to Eternal Darkness. If only this was the last category of Kickstarter or crowdfunded game, but unfortunately, it's not. As a sort of thank you to those who support these projects comes the Maniac route of games. These games were clearly going to fail or did receive funding, but decided against using it in the right way. Oddly enough, this includes The Fork of Truth and Shadows of the Eternal, as both games had serious flaws in their marketing. The Fork of Truth was actually Looking for Group's third Kickstarter in a period of 10 months, and was looking for $600,000 despite the only one having been funded, raising a little more than $100,000. While Eternals had, well, sketchy periods considering it. This last offender of the category isn't a video game so much as Manic Games, a miniature wargaming company who launches a crowdfunding campaign every time they release a new product, and so far have raised over $3.5 million in a period of less than a year and a half. Actually, it's a little more than that, but you get the idea. They still haven't even delivered all their models from the first one, and yet they're still launching new campaigns to get more money to make more models. At some point with projects like these, you can look at them and you can just say, now I'll spend my money elsewhere. Like on this beaver hat made from pumpkins. Don't fund that one. With the last part, most people are probably thinking that I'm anti-crowdfunding. Well, I understand that some people are just unable to find the money necessary for these types of things. It is true that some people might just abuse the system for money that they could have procured easily otherwise, but just didn't feel like taking the risk. And that still leaves the question of if you should support Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. And all I can say is, without breaking the space-time continuum. As of now, it has the potential to turn out as all three of these categories, so I guess just choose the one that suits you and go with it. If anything, the amount of effort Shaq has already put into it, as well as the humorous prizes for those who do put money into it, are at least worth a look. And that wraps up another Misguided Musing. If you liked, hated, or were neutral about the musing, please feel free to let me know via likes and comments. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.